Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you there at Vicki Chats. I have a very special guest in the studio with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Lori Eberhard, a true steward of Iowa's wild beauty and a beloved leader in the Cedar Valley community. With over 24 years as park manager at George Wyth State Park and 25 and a half years of dedication to the Iowa DNR's parks, forests, and preserves bureau, Lori has been the heart and soul of one of the state's most treasured outdoor spaces. Born and raised in Winneshiek County, Lori moved to Waterloo to pursue her education at Hawkeye Tech and UNI and never looked back. For the past 37 years, she's made the Cedar Valley her home, building a life filled with purpose, passion, and people she loves. She's a devoted wife to Barry, proud mama to two sons, Brandon and Ben, and dog mama to Pablo the lab boxer. She's a cancer survivor, a Main Street Waterloo volunteer, and a huge supporter of all things local, from festivals to restaurants and everything in between. She's traveled to 44 states, has a zest for life, and brings positivity and humor to every challenge she faces. Let's give a warm welcome to the woman who's keeping nature wild and our spirits free, Lori Eberhard. Welcome,
Well,
Lori.
thank you. Great to be
Yes.
here. Like I said, it's quite the introduction.
Oh,
Yeah.
my pleasure. You deserve every word. So tell me, how important it is community support to your work, and how have you seen that play out in the Cedar Valley?
Oh my gosh, I tell people all the time, our supervisors, our Des Moines staff, is that I am so fortunate to be at George Wyth State Park in the Cedar Valley. The support that
Yay.
I have received all these years, both personally and professionally, are just unmatched. When,
Really?
yeah, we have other parks that are in urban areas, and I don't feel that they get the same support that we do. That we have so
Wow.
many nonprofit organizations and businesses that know how important outdoor recreation is, and all of us work well together. The cities, the county, the state, we all come together and support each
Yay.
other through different projects. With our trail system is a prime example that we have
Yes.
over 100 plus miles, and it keeps expanding, and we can't do that all by ourselves. So
No.
we will take and look at, hey, we're going to do this time, so other people will back off on a grant project and help support that one, and just kind of do that. Or
Oh,
we all write letters for each other, because we all know we all win in the end if we do that.
yes.
And
There you
so
go.
it's just I always say that maybe some of the other government agencies should come up here and sit through some of our meetings and realize that it's a team. You got to
Yes.
work together.
Right.
You give and take, and everybody wins in the end.
Everybody
Yeah.
wins the end.
So
I
yeah, it's
love
just
it.
amazing, and just everybody helps. And when I was diagnosed with cancer the first time,
Yeah.
and then the second time, just the
Oh,
support I got was just phenomenal personally as well. And so it's Cedar Valley is truly my home. Not where I was born
yeah.
and raised early on, but it's my home, and I'm glad that my boys and my family are here to be a part of this great community, because there's just so many positive things going on.
Oh,
So,
yay. I love to hear that. So, what's one item still left on your bucket list that you're determined to check off?
as you know, I've been to 44 states, so
Yes.
traveling is a big part of my life and my
Right.
family's life. Haven't done a lot of international traveling, but a couple of friends in the last
Ooh,
2 years have gone to Iceland and Ireland.
yes.
And so I'm kind of thinking that's where I would like to go, because it's pretty amazing pictures that they had, and just the stuff they saw. So I'm thinking
Oh,
I'd kind of like to go up in that direction.
yes.
So
Yes. So, of the 44 states you've traveled, which ones are still left?
so I have Washington State, Oregon, and North Dakota west of the Mississippi,
Okay.
and then I have uh, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Delaware on the eastern part. So yeah, so not too many left, but yeah, the goal is to get there. And we were close, but then traveling ended up not getting us to Rhode Island and Delaware
Oh,
and stuff.
shoot.
So, but it's a reason to go back.
Yes, there you go. It's a
So
reason to go back. So, who would you say has been the greatest influence in your life, personally or professionally?
my parents.
Ooh, I love
Both my
it.
mom and dad, they were always
Oh,
supportive of anything we wanted to try. They encouraged us, um, and just always gave us opportunities,
yes.
and encouraged us to travel, to see things, to always, if you could help somebody, help somebody. Is that we weren't better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you know, I know my parents were very proud of me because I would hear it through other friends and other family friends of my parents. Um, and but they would never really brag me up to my face because they're just like, they wanted to keep us, you're not better than anybody else. And so, but I would hear like, your parents are really proud. And that just always, and it was awesome.
Yes.
And like I always said, I always had choices. Didn't always
Mm,
like my two choices,
yeah.
but I always had choices. So I always felt like I got to make decisions.
Oh,
And so we've done that. I've tried to raise my boys that way, and have that communication with them. And I'm very fortunate. We're very lucky. Our boys are good. And I ask people, I'm like, are they good, or are they not good? And everybody's like, your boys are really good. And I'm like, okay, good to know.
yay.
And I'll ask friends, I'm like, is he a jerk? Or they're like, no, he's really good. I really like to talk to him. So
Aw,
as a mom,
that's cute.
you like to hear that. But
Yes, you do.
I'll call them out, because
Of course
everybody
you do.
can make mistakes. And
Yes.
it's like, just help people when you can,
Yes.
is that because you
Right.
don't know what they're going through.
You
And
never know. That's right, honey.
and so
Mm,
people didn't know I was going through cancer, but my kids did. And it was
right.
like, and we had them talk to the counselors at school because they can't always talk to you when there's a
Yes,
tough
of
time. And so,
course.
but having that open line of communication with your kids is huge. There's a lot of stuff going on and has been
Yes.
for a long time. So talk
Yes.
to your kids, be there, answer those tough questions
Right.
and stuff, because if you don't answer those tough questions, they're going to go someplace else. And are they going to get the answers? Are they going to,
Right.
because then if they're going through a tough time, generally they'll come to you if they know that they can talk to you. And I have to say, there's sometimes the boys come to the question and I'm like, and,
Right.
and I tell them, you don't always want to, I don't always want to answer that question, but I will do everything I can to answer it. So they have an answer.
Right.
They may not always like the answer, but
Exactly.
it's, so that's some advice I've given a couple friends that are starting their families and stuff. Is just talk
Aw.
to your kids, talk to age appropriate, but talk to them, let them ask those questions and get it from you.
Mm,
So instead of from
yes,
someplace else, because you
right.
really don't know what they're getting someplace else. So.
Right. And a shout out to all the school counselors, the
Yes.
important role that they played for you.
Yeah. And if things are happening in your family, the teachers and the counselors need to know that so they
Yes.
can help
Right.
them. And that was really important for us, is that
Mhm.
is because my youngest was 7 the first time.
Oh
And
my
so,
gosh.
and if he heard you talking, he would go down that rabbit hole
Oh,
and stuff. And so
sure,
it's
of
just like, we just wanted to make sure that
course.
he knew he had someplace to go, and to ask us questions, because I said, you might think
Yes.
of questions that I didn't think of to ask the doctor. And so it was
Right.
just always making sure that that line of communication was open, and that it's okay to be scared.
Right.
But we put one step in front of the other and we keep moving, because it
Yes.
will get better. We call them bumps in the road.
Ooh,
So
yes.
we're coming up on 23 years this fall for being married, and in a couple of weeks, and we're like, we've got a lot of bumps in the road, but we've made it over them, and we keep going. So
there you go. You've been through so much, including beating cancer. So how has that journey changed your perspective on life?
I you when you hear that word, it is not fun. It is a gut punch. But I'm one that I always find the positive out of everything. That
Yay.
even no matter how bad it is, and it may take a while, but you dig deep and you pull your bootstraps up and go. But there is always something positive that comes out of bad news.
Yes.
And it can take a while, but it does.
Right.
And it brought our family closer together. We found out who our true friends were, because your true friends are there in the good and the bad,
yes,
and stuff. And so it's just not worrying about all the little things,
right,
and focusing on the important things of family. And don't put off what, well, it's too expensive to go, it's too expensive. So we had talked about going to Hawaii, and we had lost a family member and stuff, and we said if there was some funds, we would go. Well, we ended up took the boys too. And so we went, our bucket list was Hawaii. So we flew to Maui with the boys, and it was just an amazing trip. We did a helicopter ride around Maui. We flew over, and the boys got to see Pearl Harbor, and they had studied that, so it was really impressive for them. Got to see whales, got to go snorkeling, and
Sweet.
and we find that we do more trips with our boys and experiences because, and then it's fun to be in the car traveling, and they're like, "Oh, remember when we did this or that," and stuff. So take those trips. Don't wait, because you just never know. Because everything is fine until it's not, and it's that fast that it happens. So enjoy life.
Yes.
Don't fret so much about the little things.
Right. Exactly. So what would you say is your personal mission statement?
Everybody likes to be the keyboard quarterback right now.
Oh,
and
God.
So I've worked with the public my whole life, in our family business, waiting on customers, doing retail, and then being at the park. People are in my life every day, and we all like to complain. I'll complain about things too.
Right.
But it's a couple things my parents had always said is, if all you're going to do is complain, but you're not going to do anything about it, then you're still part of the problem. So be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Is we all have a voice, but if you're not happy with something in your community, at your school, in an organization, go be a part of that. Get on the PTO committees.
Right.
Go to council meetings, but don't always complain. Come with solutions, not, well, you need to do this or you need to do that. It's come with solutions, because when you talk to people, you find that you hear about other situations that maybe you've never been in.
Yes.
You've never had to deal with. So they don't know about it until you bring it to their attention. But sit down and have that dialogue, have those discussions. And sometimes you agree to disagree, but if you're not going to come with a solution, don't just say, well, that's bad.
Right.
Well, why is it bad? Because I've never dealt it. Tell me. And, and just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you have to be mean to them. We all just need to be nice.
Yes.
That's my thing, is be nice.
Be nice.
Because you don't know what someone else is going through.
That's right.
And because some people don't show that they're having problems. They just keep doing. And, I deal a lot with humor. So I'm always having a little crack here and there. And stuff, because, sometimes if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yes,
and I don't want to cry.
No.
I like to laugh.
No tears.
Life is better with laughing.
Yes. So let's talk shop. What's coming up next at George Wyth State Park that visitors should be excited about?
Well, this is a little more exciting for staff, because I've been at George Wyth for 24 and a half years and have a small shop. So this next year we are getting a new shop and office. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yay.
So we'll have a very spacious area now to work on stuff, have stuff inside, not sitting outside, things like that. But we're starting the process of, in the next 2 years or so, is making upgrades to our campground.
Ooh, yay.
And other parts of the park. So we're kind of getting our list together and securing funding for that. So hopefully in another year and a half, 2 years, we'll start seeing some upgrades to the campground and to some of the parts of the park. So
that's so exciting.
Yeah, when you get something new, it's always kind of exciting. Whether you get a new mower or track, we're always excited to get something new, because sometimes you wait a long time for that to happen.
Right. So what do you love most about your job as park manager?
Well, I'm a people person. Always have been. Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it?
Shocking.
and stuff. And so
that's what attracted to me to you, is like how good you are with people. I'm like, I need to have her on my show. She's amazing.
It's just, I've seen people from all over the world. We've had people from Australia and New Zealand and France and Canada and just all over, because some of them will come over and they'll rent a camper and just travel the United States, and they pick George Wyth, and it's always like, oh, that's really cool.
Oh, I love it.
We're kind of central for a lot of, like, from Missouri to Minnesota to the Dakotas, Nebraska, Illinois, and stuff. So families come and meet here to have a family get together, or things like that. With the university being here and Waterloo and Cedar Falls always having different events and stuff, we just always have people coming. And we have a lot of different events at the park. Like you and I worked on the YMCA triathlon for the second year, and it's a great event to have. And we have the location and can have events like that. And by having those different events, we have the Fools Run in April. We have they have a couple trail runs. One is to support House of Hope in the summer. And
I
then
love that.
Fast Track has one too as well. And then we have CVAST, our soft trails group, that they do Monday night runs, Wednesday night rides, and we'll have some different events throughout the year. So we have the facilities or the venue for people to come. And some of these people would never come if it wasn't for those events. And so once they come, they get to see that the Cedar Valley is a pretty amazing place.
Right.
And just all the different things we have. And we're so fortunate to have George Wyth State Park, Blackhawk County Conservation, Hartman Reserve Nature Center, and just all the city parks and stuff that we have. And
I love it.
And all these agencies work together well in the Cedar Valley, which is so cool to see different government agencies actually sit down at the table and work together to make it better for we always try and make it better for the majority. There's always somebody that's not always going to be happy, but we have to do for the majority, not for just this group or just this group. It is the best for the majority. And that's what we always try to do. And that's what I always try to do at the park, is that I have to think of everybody that's going to be there and do the best I can to make it good for the majority. Is that unfortunately I can't make everybody happy, but we can sure try and do the best that we can.
We can sure try. So what has been your proudest moment in your 25 years with the Iowa DNR?
My proudest moment, and we were just discussing this in the office the other day, was our Cedar Valley Lakes Trail that starts at George Wyth Lodge and goes to Creeks Crossing. And it's actually the trail that goes through the whole park and extends into Waterloo. That trail was one of the original sections of trail. So it's like 50 years old or close to it. We didn't know exactly when it was done, but it was pushing 50 years old. Asphalt had washed out with all the flooding we had had all those years. And getting funding is just really challenging for us as a state agency. And thank goodness for the Cedar Valley Trails Partnership, is they started a $20,000 challenge grant. And that's how it really kicked off. And so the Cedar Valley, through grants, through private donations, raised over $60,000 to put towards that project. And that's what catapulted. And then COVID hit, and we were even busier, because everybody was off and came to the park, which was great for us.
Right.
But there were grants that were given during COVID, and we were able to receive almost $900,000, and that was able to get that trail done. So now it's concrete. It was a long process. It was very challenging. But now when I look at it, every time I go by, I'm like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to worry about it. Someone else will have to worry about it in 20 years. So.
Yeah, there you go. So
but it's amazing. And it's that connection that we have through the Cedar Valley. Is George Wyth is right smack in the middle of Waterloo and Cedar Falls. And it is, I say, everybody's like, Lori, you did this. And I said, I didn't do it. I was the one that cried and whined and threw a fit to make sure it went through. But I had so much support from my coworkers, from our seasonal staff, from the Trails Partnership, from CVAST, from just all the different people in the community, and the ones that gave personal donations to make that happen. I was just the ringleader, but I surrounded myself with great people that helped me accomplish that goal. And now to see it done, and it was really nice to have that ribbon cutting. I really got emotional, because I just never thought it was. I'm like, this is never gonna happen. And so when it did, it's so nice.
After 50 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's just so So now when I walk by, I'm like, oh, that's pretty.
Yay.
I love it. So
my experience, we talked about the YMCA earlier, so I want to give them a shout out. We love Norm Johnson and the work that he is doing, and everybody on the staff. They're amazing. And so my first experience with George Wyth was 30 years ago. And 30 years ago, I was a young mother with 4 little ones, and one that would come later, but 4 little ones at the time. I would put in a stay-at-home mama. I would put them in the nursery. I taught aerobics classes, but here's the deal. I put them in the nursery every day, and I ran from the Y all the way through George Wyth on that trail to the Oster Region Theater, and then all the way back, which was 10 miles every day.
That's impressive.
Thank you. And I loved it. Of course, I had to have my music on, my favorite radio station playing, which at the time was Mix 96, which I ended up being on. So, but that experience of being in George Wyth alone, all the stress of motherhood, it just roll, young mothers are busy, as you know. It would just roll off, and I'd be just enamored with the beautiful ambiance of George Wyth State Park on that trail. And I'll tell you what, it's life-changing.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people that just will come and sit in a parking lot in their car just to wind down from the day. We have
Oh,
people
I
that
love
just
it.
drive through the park every day and never get out of their car.
Oh,
I have people that in the summertime only go to Brinker Lake and go boating. They don't realize there's still 2.5 miles of park to go to. We have people that just use the trails and don't know that we have a beach, that we have shelters, that we have, people have come to the park for years and all of a sudden they go to a graduation or a get together at the lodge. We're like, I didn't know this was back here. And so we just have so many different, but we average probably about 400,000 visitors a year at George Wyth.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
400,000?
Yeah. In COVID, in 2020, we had 503,000.
Oh my gosh!
So
yes.
it's crazy. So it's amazing, and people that when you're driving through, it's like, well, it's not that busy. It's not that busy, but when people actually are sitting someplace and just having a conversation, or when we're out on the trail, it's just like you're trying to do something, all of a sudden, oh, there's nothing, we got to stop.
Yeah,
our cars. If you just sit in an area, sit under a tree, and just watch, the amount of people that go by is just unreal. People are just amazed.
That is so cool. So how do you keep your passion for the outdoors and your work burning bright after all these years?
I've always said from the very beginning is that my job is going to change.
Yes.
There's going to be things that, it doesn't matter. Things are going to be, yay, that's great. Right. And other times where it's not going to be very good. I haven't hit that point where it's not very good. Everything has been good. But it's always trying to roll with the punches, go with the changes, because there's things changing. And if I get to that point where I don't like the changes, then it's time to start looking for something else, and not because, could I just throw my fit and then go, okay, after a week, put my big panties on and okay, I can be part of the team.
Right.
It's just being part of the team and finding that. And it's just, I've always tried to be forward thinking. I've always tried to be the team, be on the team, be a team player. But state my concerns, or especially as you get older in your career, you're not as concerned about stating what you want.
Exactly.
But you've had the experience to talk about it and go, why are we doing this? I have with our shop and office is a couple of them from Des Moines will call, Lori, you're not going to like this, and you're going to like this, but not this. And I said, okay, well, let's talk about it.
Right.
And I'm like, if you have a why to it and can explain to me that this is what we need to, I don't have to like it, but I can get on board with it. Right. Don't just tell me because.
Exactly.
Or, well, that's just too expensive. Why is it too expensive versus this? Let's look at, tell me the why. And that's what our public wants too. So when people ask me, they want the why.
Exactly.
Is they may not like why we're doing it, but they have an understanding of it. And then when they see it, because when we do stuff with prairies, with tree plantings and stuff, we're looking at that 25, 50 years down the road. So my grandkids will know what that is, not right now.
Right.
And so we're in such an instant society that people have a hard time, that you have to think 20 years down the road.
Right.
But we do.
Yes.
And we know, and I know that what we set up now, in 15 years, it could change, because we could have a new disease come through and take out another species of tree or whatever that is. So it's just, it's being part of that team, and listening to kids, because I'm like, I'm getting old, you guys, and so, but you need to learn from the older people because they have experience.
That's right.
But I also learn from them because they have new ideas and new ways to do things, and sometimes faster ways to do things. So we all need to work together with the young and the old, and you combine things. So don't be. I don't want to be the stick in the mud and just not change. So it's always, and listen, and and I can tell you, I don't like it, but okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly. So how important is community support to your work, and how have you seen that play out in the Cedar Valley?
Oh my gosh, the Cedar Valley has been so supportive for me professionally and personally. The people that I meet, the friends that I have, the organizations that, when I have a question that I'm not sure, like is there some funding someplace, or just, what do you think about this? Just the help that we get, the things that we work together on, or just to have someone else be a sounding board is, hey, am I on the right track on this? Or, I need somebody else to hear it. And I have all those different ones, but the Cedar Valley is just an amazing community to live in. And we're all trying to do great things for for the Cedar Valley and make
Yes.
it better. So be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Right.
And I can't stress that enough. It's just that, there's great things going on. And if you don't like something, go talk to the people. Don't just listen to on Facebook. Don't listen to
Right.
on social media.
No.
Don't just always listen. The news is great, but just go to the source
Yes.
and have them explain it. Tell them, give them the why.
Right.
You want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you have some suggestions that they didn't think about.
Exactly.
And that's why get involved.
Right.
Be on a committee. Find out that things aren't planned in just a week. It
Right.
takes months. Like for the Y,
Yes.
the MCA triathlon is we start planning 6-7 months ahead.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of planning that goes into it. Well, there's some things that we can't control.
Yep,
weather.
That's right.
And we had some we had flooding earlier in the year, so there was some concern with that. Do we have a backup plan? Do we have
right.
And we can't just change stuff on a
Mhm.
moment's notice.
Yeah.
Is that because there's road closures, there's law enforcement that helps us out, there's volunteers, and there's a lot that goes into these events, whether it's in Waterloo or Cedar Falls, and it's not just, oh well, how can we do it on this day? How can we do it on this day?
Right.
There are things you have to plan ahead.
Yes,
It's not just,
exactly.
oh, we can just do that. In a small town, sometimes you can because it's a small
Sure,
town.
of
But when you have
course.
70,000 people, 40,000 people,
Right.
you can't just change that.
No,
So don't just complain. Get involved. Be a part of the solution.
There you go. And where can our viewers and listeners find you on the web and social media?
Well, unfortunately, just George Wyth does not have its own social media, so it's all through the DNR
okay.
website. So they'll put stuff on there. But we have, the YMCA is great because when they were announcing their triathlon, it was YMCA at George Wyth State Park. So events are really good locally.
Yes.
We put alerts on the DNR webpage, so for closing or things like that, for flooding. You can always call, but a lot of the different, like the Cedar Trails Partnership has information on the trails. CVAST has information. So a lot of local stuff really helps us get stuff out there.
That's wonderful. So any closing thoughts, Larry?
I am just really fortunate to be at George Wyth State Park. It is just, it used to be the city I would come to go shopping because, we can, my little town was 300 people. And so it was the big place to come to. And it was, and it's a town.
Yes.
It's a town. It's not a city anymore.
Yes.
And just so welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's growing, it's changing. It's really, it's so diverse.
Yes.
And that's what I really am happy that my boys are able to experience, the diversity, because when they go to school at East High and the Waterloo schools, they got to see the world.
Yeah, there you go.
And they have great friends of all different ages, ethnicities, and I love it. I love it.
I love it
and stuff.
Too.
So it's just, I'm very fortunate to be in the job I am. I love it. I love the community and just the support that I've had all these years, both personally and professionally. I love it.
That's beautiful. So, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
Oh my
Great way to spend my morning.
Yay. Will you do it again sometime?
Yeah,
Yay. Absolutely. Thank you, and for everything you do. And God bless you.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Yeah, have a great day.